Well, good afternoon and welcome to Auburndale, Florida for Game 1 of a doubleheader between New Jersey City University and Emerson College here at the Russmatt Collegiate Spring Break Invitational. We are live at Lake Myrtle Sports Complex, field number 5 here in Auburndale, and we appreciate your patience as we try to get on the air after a 3-hour drive from Fort Myers after covering NJCU softball this morning. And obviously it takes some time to set the equipment up and get going, and we are going to pick it up here in the top of the third inning, and then we will recap what is now a 2-0 lead for the Gothic Knights. Appreciate everybody being patient. We also should allow you to know that this is obviously on a wireless signal as we are in Florida, and because of that, it may buffer from time to time. You can follow the live stats, of course, at NJCUGothicKnights.com. Tom Pulsini's at the plate, younger brother of C.J. Pulsini, the 2-year starting catcher who graduated a year ago. Pulsini's facing a 2-ball, 2-strike count, and in between innings, we will catch you up on what's happened thus far today. So Pulsini swung on and missed on a pitch in the dirt. Tag is applied. Lennon Gomez is currently at first base. He walked, and there's now 2 away for Nick Legato, who is hitting an astounding 800 early on this season, including a single and a run scored today. The Gothic Knights with 2 runs in the second inning. This is a 7-inning game. Both games today are 7 innings. Second game will begin at approximately 6:30 or so. Ball's in the dirt. Gomez will hold up. And if this continues, the buffer will continue to play with the resolution. Might drop it down to a 480p. But we are going to do the best we can to keep this thing going, as we have 2 games of Gothic Knight baseball coming up. And then tomorrow, 2 games against 2 different opponents, a makeup from a snow out. And that's lined over the head of the shortstop into left center field. Gomez around second. He's on his way to third. The throw will come into the cutoff man. And a 2-out single by Nick Legato. And the Gothic Knights have runners on the corners. Nick Legato is hitting at a high level right now. The everyday shortstop now for the Gothic Knights. He won that job midway through his sophomore year, and one of the veterans now returning into the lineup for the Gothic Knights. Juan Pena, a transfer for NJCU from Division I Rider. He's technically a freshman, did not play at Rider, even though he's a sophomore on the roster. And Pena, the starting right fielder, asked for time, and it is granted by the home plate umpire. Give you the lineups for both teams as soon as we get a chance. The umpires are David Gray and Eddie Collins. And Pena in the air. Deep left field. Going back. And that one is gone. Pena with a 3-run bomb. We turned on the broadcast at just the right time. The Gothic Knights lead 5-0. So Juan Pena, his first home run as a Gothic Knight, first home run this year for NJCU, and that makes the score 5-0, a home run over the left field fence off the starting pitcher here, Jake Mitchell. Legato scores, Lennon Gomez scores, all coming with 2 outs. Coaches love 2-out hitting, and they just got that. Newcomer Jesse Kraft, junior out of Nutley, New Jersey, will step in. He made his debut yesterday for NJCU, and he had 2 doubles. So far today, he is top third in his only at bat. That's popped in the air towards us. I'm going to change the scoreboard. I'm trying to do 3 jobs at once today, so if it's a little behind, just bear with me. And a foul ball to Kraft. And it's 0-2. And that is chopped foul. So no balls and 2 strikes here. Off the play. Between innings, we're going to pause the broadcast and try to change the resolution so we can eliminate some of this buffering as much as possible. Not much I can do about it while we're in the middle of an inning, but Emerson is a strike away from getting out of this frame. However, they trail 5-0. That is low. Two balls and 2 strikes. Kraft is the number 8 hitter in the lineup today for the Gothic Knights, and swung on and missed there. So the Gothic Knights put up 3 runs here in the top of the 3rd just as we signed on the air. The timing could not have been better, and the Gothic Knights lead game 1. This is, remember, a 7-inning game against Emerson. 5-0. We'll be right back. And we are back up, and hopefully that's a little bit better of a picture right here. Again, doing the best we can over a Verizon wireless hotspot. And now we'll finally have the chance to give you the defensive and batting orders for today's contest as Emerson, the Lions, will bat here in the bottom of the 3rd against Anthony Zaccaro making the start. Gothic Knights, a junior left-hander. First pitch is lined to left field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Second hit for Emerson, and their first since leading off the 2nd inning. So that was John Gabbert. And I'll bring up the shortstop, number 13, Ethan Young. For the Gothic Knights, behind the plate is Jan Castellano, new player for the Gothic Knights this season. Junior college transfer. At first base, senior Dan Berardi, approaching the top 30 all-time in career hits. At second base, Tom Polsini, the transfer from Ocean County College, younger brother of former Gothic Knight catcher C.J. Polsini. Nick Legato, now in his 2nd year, starting at shortstop for the Knights. This could be 2. Kraft looks to second, won't have the time. Throw to first. The ball is low. And on the error, Gabbert will advance to 3rd. So an E5 throwing error. Gabbert will advance on the play. So now runners on the corners. First time that Emerson is threatened to this degree so far today. And it'll be Tim Quitadamo, the center fielder, stepping in. Give you the rest of the lineup for the Knights. I mentioned Nick Legato at shortstop. Third baseman will be Jesse Kraft. The left fielder, Bill Feehan. In center field, Mike Ramirez. And in right field, home run hitting Juan Pena, the Division I transfer. And that is a curve just off the plate. For Emerson, the Lions have Tim Quitadamo. He's at the plate now, top of the order. C.J. Rogers, the left fielder, bats 2nd. Joe Palladino, the third baseman, hits 3rd. And Pablo Feldman is the cleanup hitter and first baseman. A liner right off the backside of Zaccaro. Run will score. And out is retired. And that's going to end up being a 1-2-3. And they're going to check on the health of Zaccaro. Young to second on the play. Of course, as of right now, it's unearned. 1 RBI. Zaccaro is going to have a big welt on his left quad tomorrow. Or actually hamstring. That's where it got him, right in the hamstring. Finishing the lineup here while we can, Ryan McKayen is the designated hitter. Nolan Megna will bat 6th and play right field. Dylan Scarfo, the catcher, bats 7th. And earlier this inning we mentioned John Gabbard, the second baseman, who's hitting 8th, and Ethan Young, the shortstop, batting 9th. Zaccaro looks like he's all right, and he'll remain in the game for the Gothic Knights. All right, fans, we should be back. I made some adjustments. This is a constant struggle when we're on these road trips, but if we want to try to bring them live, we have to deal with the technical glitches that seem to haunt. We are back here, bottom of the 4th inning. New pitcher for the Gothic Knights will be junior right-hander Anthony Carfora, the native of Toms River, New Jersey, as he comes in for Zaccaro. And I don't know if that was intentionally planned, or if it's the timing of Zaccaro getting plunked by that line drive last inning. But Anthony Zaccaro, he started for much of last year. Time is called here by Feldman. No ball, 2-strike count here. And I think the adjustments we made to the broadcast will help somewhat. As called, strike 3 looking. And Carfora rings up Feldman. Those of you familiar with download and upload speeds, I did test the upload speeds here, which is what you need to do a remote broadcast. And let's just say the upload speeds are not on the impressive list. So we had to make adjustments accordingly, and hopefully that'll be enough. However, game 1 of 2 between NJCU and Emerson, Gothic Knights have a 6-1 lead. They have scored in each of the last 3 innings. And we thought this would be a team that would do well earlier this year. They have a lot of experience back despite graduating 7 seniors. And that's really funny to say that they graduated 7 seniors, including 3 guys that are among the all-time leading hitters in school history, and they're still potentially might even be better than last year. And that is because the coaching staff did an amazing recruiting job this year, not only adding some help in the pitching rotation, some quality players behind the plate in right field at third, some help where NJC needed, a new second baseman with experience, and NJCU should be a team that's right in the thick of things this year and hopefully challenge for an NJAC spot, which they did for much of last year, and they were ECAC eligible before having the rug pulled out from under them when the tournament was actually canceled at the last minute. A ball and 2 strikes, popped in the air, foul, going to be over the Emerson dugout and out of play. Looking at the Emerson roster, they do have a number of players from New Jersey, and full disclosure, Emerson was actually a school that I did look at coming out of high school because they had an excellent broadcast and media program. I ended up not applying there. I ended up applying to Syracuse instead. As fouled away. Got in. Couldn't afford the price tag. Went to William Patterson instead and ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Great broadcast and journalism program. I met my wife there, so hey. Happy ending to the story. Full circle, we play Emerson today, the first time that I've ever announced a game against the Lions. And taking a look at the roster, there are about 4 or 5 Jersey players just scanning the roster. As a called strike 3 looking, back-to-back Ks. And both looking by Carfora. And with 2 away, it'll bring up the right fielder, Megna. Dylan Scarfo, the catchers, a freshman from Upper Montclair, New Jersey, Montclair High School. Joe Palladino is in the game out of Bedminster, New Jersey, Oratory Prep. As a curve, strike 1. Kyler Urbanski, a freshman pitcher out of Tewksbury, New Jersey, went to Voorhees High School. And Joe Cuccio, sophomore infielder out of Jefferson, New Jersey, Jefferson Township, way up in the hills. We also have to give special thanks to sophomore Sam Knox, who is doing the scoreboard for us today, so we can have a scoreboard here at Lake Myrtle Field number 5. I can do a lot, but 4 things at once probably is a little too much for one human. It'll be a 1-ball, 2-strike count here. Curve is just low, and it's 2-2. The 2-2 just off the plate, and the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning, game 1 of 2 between the Gothic Knights and the Lions. Carfora deals, and that's fouled away off to our right. Of course, I was a little late getting on the air because I had the ambitious plan of doing both softball games down in Fort Myers this morning, driving 2 hours and 45 minutes back, stopping for some gas and lunch, and a cup of coffee, of course, somewhere in the middle. Called strike 3 looking. 3 strikeouts in the inning, all looking. Carfora strikes out the side. So in the 4th, 1, 2, 3, the Lions are set down. 5th inning coming up. It'll be Polsini, Legato, and Pena due up. We'll keep it here. So we have the ambitious plan of doing the games down in Fort Myers. Partially one of the reasons, of course, obviously, because I'm also scoring the game, so we have the stats for our website, and so we have the stats in general. There was obviously a need for me to be down there, as the other schools were not scoring the games. Went down there late last night, stayed with our head coach, Mark Del Volpe, and did both games this morning. The Gothic Knights were actually in danger of losing the second game in 5 innings and battled back to make it a little closer, and because of that, the game ended an hour and a half later than it normally would have. Softball lost the first game 11-1 to Albion. Albion's a team NJCU will play tomorrow in baseball. Albion hit a grand slam in that game, and then Drew beat NJCU 7-2. And the joke we had with the Drew folks were we flew 1,000-something miles to play a game against another team from Jersey that would take 25 minutes to drive to, and we play every year in the regular season. But that's how it got drawn up. The plan right now is that tomorrow I will announce both games, both Albion and also against SUNY Poly. SUNY Poly is going to be a makeup game. That game was originally scheduled for Saturday, but of course, because of the nor'easter, all of NJCU's flights for both baseball and softball, and for probably a number of other teams in the region, all got changed. And instead of baseball flying out on Friday as one group, they flew out on Saturday in 2 groups. And Saturday's game obviously had to be pushed back, so we'll play at 2:30 tomorrow. That'll be in Lakeland, Florida, and we'll stay there and play a 6 o'clock game to make it up. And then on Wednesday, the last day of the trip for baseball and myself, baseball's playing Trine. Softball's playing 2 games in Fort Myers. None of those games are being scored. Our baseball coaches apparently have a photographic memory, remembering stuff that they Probably shouldn't, but that's what some coaches can do. So I think I'm going to let them score the game, and then I will go down and help out softball and do a 3-hour drive and then another 3 hours back and fly out on Wednesday night and then sleep all day Thursday until my wife yells at me to wake up and help out. Line drive by Polsini through the right side on the 0-1 pitch. And Polsini picked up Nick Legato, who is 2 for 2. His batting average on the early season, a sizzling .833. Legato showed some flashes of brilliance last year. Went on a home run tear in March. And speaking of home runs, he'll be followed in the lineup by Pena, who hit the first home run this year for NJCU. Not too many home runs were going to be hit yesterday. The wind was blowing in ferociously. Not as much as it does at the Thomas M. Garrity Athletic Complex in Jersey City, but for Florida, it was a little surprising. And I felt it landing yesterday because there was a lot of turbulence when we were landing yesterday morning in Orlando. I took a flight separate from the team because the men's basketball team was in the NCAA tournament. That was up in Plattsburgh, New York, as Mitchell steps off. Basketball led that game by 11 at the half, 14 in the second half, but then, as that is high, the second half shooting percentages dwindled and the Gothic Knights fell late 76-72 to Union. And then Union was eliminated the next day by Plattsburgh, who won their 21st consecutive game to go to the Sweet 16. There goes Polsini, foul tip. And we'll do it again. But it was normally a 5-hour drive from Howell, New Jersey, Monmouth County, where I live. Probably 5.5 from where I live, 5 from Jersey City. It took 7.5 hours because it was snowing because of the nor'easter the entire time Friday morning. And I'm driving up a mountain, and I really did not want to drive off a mountain, so drove slower than I normally would. For about 150 miles, I think I had it set at 30 miles per hour. On my bucket list, driving off a mountain is not found anywhere. And since I was up there, Plattsburgh, those who are familiar, is 20 minutes from the Canadian border. I brought my passport with me. I had never been to Quebec before. Montreal was a little too far, but I did drive over the border. My wife and kids thought I was joking when I said I was going to buy some maple syrup. Oh, I bought some maple syrup. That's line to left field, and that's going to be a base hit. Polsini around second, on his way to third as his helmet comes off. He stumbles into third. He'll stay there. That's a double for Nick Legato, the 9th hit for the Gothic Knights. With nobody out, puts 2 runners in scoring position. And Nick Legato is 3 for 3, and he is having a heck of a start to his junior campaign. That's going to be it today for the starting pitcher, Jake Mitchell. He gets a high five from his teammates and a thank you from his head coach. And we will have a new pitcher. It will be number 32, Nick Rempe. Rempe is a freshman out of Islip, New York. And without looking at the stats from yesterday's game, I'm going to make a safe assumption in the second game of the year that this will be his NCAA debut for the Lions. And in his NCAA debut, he will have to face Juan Pena, who hit a 3-run homer in the last half inning. Or his last at-bat, I should say. That was in the 3rd inning. We thank those of you watching this broadcast. It is 6-1 Gothic Knights. We are in the top of the 5th inning. It says 4 on the score bug. That's because I usually don't do the graphics while I'm announcing a game, but I'm writing solo here, so let's update that. Why don't we? So it's actually the top of the 5th. Gothic Knights have runners in second and third. I play with my lead here. Let's see how it looks. Hey, look at that. Fancy stuff. We're doing fancy stuff here in Gothic Vision. A little program we got called Tighter Live. We're back here for the bottom of the fifth inning. The Gothic Knights will have a new pitcher, and it'll be number 22, I believe, Jason Rivera, freshman right-hander out of Clifton, New Jersey, making his debut. Waiting for him to turn around. Numbers are not on the front of the uniforms, but I think it is Jason. It is. And being a freshman, I obviously don't know him by face that well yet.
Go, Scar.
So Carfora, 3 batters, struck them all out. He is technically in line to win this game right now. And it'll be Rivera facing Dylan Scarfo, the catcher, who tracked down that what would have been a wild pitch and flipped it to the plate for the inning-ending 2-1. Scarfo, Gabbert, and Young. There'll be 7, 8, and 9 batters due up here for the Lions. Emerson lost yesterday's opener 9-1 to Penn State Abington. They trail 11-1 here. Gothic Knights didn't play well yesterday and still won 6-2, so things are bright so far earlier this year for the Gothic Knights, and the biggest thing and the biggest improvement right now appears to be in the pitching. Some veteran guys with another year of experience and some newcomers who are already making an impact. That's fouled back towards us. We refuse to flinch. Bring it on.
You go, Scar, 2-strike approach, baby.
We say hello to those who have stuck with us on the broadcast as we did experience some buffering. That's popped in the air. Right field, Juan Pena, easy play. So a fly out to start the fifth. John Gabbert will be due up next. Pitch by Rivera's high. Texting with my wife here. As you know, being away on these trips, you're away from your family. You'd like to know what's going on there. Apparently, we're going to get a huge snowstorm in Jersey. So I'm glad I'm not in Jersey right now. And if my 15-year-old son is watching, and I'm probably sure he's on the Xbox right now and not watching this game, Gavin, you got to shovel the driveway tomorrow, buddy. Because I am here in Florida where it is 75 degrees and sunny. It's been sunny the entire day. It was actually really, really bright down and hot down in Fort Myers. I had never been to Fort Myers before, and it got warm quickly as day started about 58 degrees, and before you knew it, it was almost 80. That's fouled away for strike 2. Both of these teams, as Rivera strikes out Gabbert for out number 2. Both of these teams have a very good representation from their families on the trip, and that's always great to see. You know, this is a trip that's meant to be shared by everyone.
You go where you want to be a pass, baby.
So 2 here, 11-1 Gothic Knights in the bottom of the 5th. And we're back here, bottom of the 6th inning. And Gothic Knights, I think, also have a new pitcher. It's not Rivera. That part was not reported to me, but we also have Mike O'Donnell staying in the game in right field, and the new second baseman will be Ryan Guthrie, a freshman out of Bayonne. And the new pitcher for the Gothic Knights will be Chris Bergolowski, freshman right-hander, 6'3", 210 out of Bayonne, and he'll make his debut for the Gothic Knights. So he'll be the fourth pitcher used by the Knights. Zaccaro started, went to Carfora, who struck out the side. Rivera pitched a solid 5th inning, and now Bergolowski will make his debut. Ground ball coming over is Guthrie. Long throw is in time! Guthrie ranging to his right and stayed on balance, and a terrific throw to first, getting Quintadamo by probably a step. So Ryan Guthrie coming in defensively for Tom Pulsini, and immediately is challenged and immediately is up to the task. So with one away, it'll bring up C.J. Rogers, the left fielder. Ground ball. High hop. Legato somehow snares it. Throw to first. And he made it look easy. That is a gold glove play right there by Nick Legato. And that's a play he certainly would not have made as a freshman, but he is now as a junior. Just the composure for Legato to come in on a ball that should have been routine, and then all of a sudden it takes off over your head. And to have the reflexes like a goalkeeper to stick your hand up, pull it down, stay on balance, and throw to first, and have the ball playable for Berardi at first. Just a magnificent play by Legato. And you got to feel a little bit for Emerson here, because that's two terrific plays that normally would be hits.
You go, Pa.
So as I enter those stats and a comment into our play-by-play, Palladino, 2-ball count here, chopped foul, 2-1. Our live stats decided they didn't want to work anymore, so we're going to have to restart that. Now, why would anything want to work? Let's update the outs here. That would be nice. All right, so they're updated here on the broadcast. I need an intern to just work on graphics. Should be good now. 3 balls and 1 strike. And a lot of stats are down. So we're going to have to be pinch hit for here. I missed it as I was trying to fix the video. Pinch hitter is going to be number 25, Mike Albunia, the junior for the Gothic Knights. And he fouls that one off. So Mike Albunia getting his first at-bat of the season. Left-handed hitter for the Gothic Knights. Second member of his family to play for the program. Gothic Knights have a number of left-handed hitters off the bench. Albunia is one of them. Popped in the air on the slider over the plate, and it falls in front of the catcher. Binaco got there and couldn't make the catch. Albunya gets new life here. 1-2. Unfortunately, I have to officially put that down as an error because that is a routine play, so it goes down as an E2 DF, allowing Albunya's at-bat to be extended. And that is now the 5th error on Emerson. Check swing, foul ball. 11 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Gothic Knights, a run, 2 hits, and 5 errors for the Lions. That's one of those errors that I feel terrible about having to apply, but at the end of the day, I still have to follow the rules, and those are the ones that I hate having to put into the stats. So 1-2 pitch. Line drive, base hit, and that's why we have to give the error, because it allowed Albunya's at bat to be extended, and he gets the base hit. So single through the left side, Corsi on to second base, and Albunya took advantage of the extra life. His first hit of the season, 14th hit for the Gothic Knights, who will continue sending up pinch hitters, and this time it would be Leo Colon, the freshman out of Carteret, New Jersey, and St. Anthony's in Jersey City will make his debut for NJCU. And he will pinch hit here for Bill Feehan. Coach Kilmer, we saw your comment there about the buffering issue. Again, something I apologize about. Not much I can really do as we are on a Verizon hotspot. That's how we're able to broadcast remotely. Of course, there's no permanent lines here in Florida, so we do the best we can with the cell phone towers that are nearby. Sometimes the signal is great. Today it's been iffy, and we do apologize, but for those who are able to watch the game, we hope you've been able to enjoy it. I'm sure the Gothic Knight fans enjoying it far more than the Emerson fans right now, of course, but still another game to be played at the conclusion of this one. And we'll begin roughly half an hour after this one comes to an end. The 0-1 pitch. And Cologne pops in the air back towards us. And it hits the roof of the concession stand and bathrooms. (11-1) Gothic Knights lead, looking to go to 2-0 on the year. If they win, this will be the 95th career win for head coach Jerry Smith. In the air, down the left field line, drifting foul and out of play. So about a 350-foot foul ball there. And it remains 0-2. Zucchero started the game. He got hit by a line drive in the back of his hamstring, so he had to come out early. So he can't win, and Anthony Carfora struck out the side in the fourth, is in line to be the winner. In the dirt, wild pitch, and everyone will move up one base. That one was a curveball that probably about 55 feet. Bounced well in front of home plate. So Cologne a 1-2 count here. He has a chance to maybe drive in a pair. Fly ball, left field. It's carrying back towards the wall and will bounce up against the fence. Corsi scores easily. Right behind him is Albunya. It is a 2-run pinch hit double by Cologne, and the Gothic Knight lead reaches 13-1. And still nobody out. You saw that ball just continue to carry off the bat. And Mike Ramirez will step in. That's low. Trying to figure out. Bunya's run is definitely not earned. And how that Bunya not gotten the hit. Of course, he would probably be at third base right now. So right now the run is unearned. That could change for Corsi. It will not change for Albunya. Two balls and one strike to Mike Ramirez. Ramirez, a double, 2 foul outs and a walk today. He's hitting 143. And there goes Colon. He steals third. And he's getting a talking to from head coach Jerry Smith because obviously with the score being what it was, there would not be a steal sign on there. And clearly Colon did that on his own. And Jerry Smith is having a chat with him right now about sportsmanship, and I don't think he's going to forget that one. And that's a base hit down the first base line. It's going to result in a double for Mike Ramirez. It'll be his second of the game. Colon will score easily, and the lead is 14-1. The steal wouldn't have mattered. Ramirez would have drove him in from second anyway. But that's going to be a learning lesson for Colon as well. He won't do that again in a game that has a wide differential. So a double down the right field line, an RBI for Ramirez. Colon scores. And then Dan Berardi, first pitch he sees, fly ball to right field. That is now the first out. We're going to have another pinch hitter here for Lennon Gomez. So it'll be Mike McLaughlin, who normally wears number 5. That's why I didn't know who it was. He's wearing 36 today. He will pinch hit here for the Knights in place of Lennon Gomez, and he'll get his first collegiate at bat here with Mike Ramirez at second base and the lead 14-1. Have to go back and make a change to the Corsi run has now become earned, so only the Albunya run is unearned. In the air, center field. That ball is carrying as well. Not going to be an easy play. Guadamo had to make a long run there to track it down. And now 2 away for Guthrie, who will get his first at bat. Came into the game as a defensive replacement in the last half inning and made a tremendous play, ranging to his right behind second base to throw out a runner. Curve off the plate. So the Gothic Knights with 3 runs here. That's a dribbling foul in front of the plate. Ball and a strike here to Guthrie. Starting to get a little chilly now all of a sudden. The lights are on. Some bugs are out now. And the temperature's starting to dip a little bit as we approach 6:30 in the evening here with the sun starting to set here in Florida. Swung on and missed. And Guthrie chases a curve off the plate and the inning comes to a close. But not before the Gothic Knights score 3 runs on 4 hits. 1 error and 1 left on base. Emerson 2 up in the bottom of the 7th in a 7-inning game. Now we're back here for the bottom of the 7th. I think I'm good on the defensive changes now. It would have been nice if we had numbers on the front of our uniform, so I don't know, I could tell who it is from 250 feet away, but why would we make things easy for us? Defensive changes for NJCU, as everyone who came into the game as a pinch hitter remains in the game. Mike Albunia is behind the plate right now. Matt Corsi remains in the game at third base. Mike O'Donnell previously had come in, and he's in right field. Leo Colon is in left field. And those were all the changes made. So we're going to have a pinch hitter here. So Cam Beatty will come in as a pinch hitter. And he will face the new pitcher, Sean Gibney. Gibney, who is one of the more fun student athletes for the Gothic Knights. If you've ever seen an NJCU men's basketball game, we have a fan section. He is typically the one who's getting them going. The junior side armor, as that is foul ball down the third base line. Gibney, 4th year in school, but a junior athletically as he missed a year with a medical red shirt, and likely will come back next year to play his 4th year. And I hope he does, because he's a lot of fun, but don't want to tell him too much. We'll wait to senior day to let him know how much fun he really has been over the years. Fouled away 1 and 2. That's low, 2 and 2. Gibney and I have a little bit that we've been doing for a few years here. First game he worked for soccer as a freshman, I couldn't remember his name. And obviously figured it out pretty quickly, but since then, every time I see him, I call him by a different name. Ground ball, Guthrie comes over. Can he make another great play? Not this time, as is pulled Berardi off the bag. Guthrie definitely has a lot of range and a strong arm, but 2 terrific plays in a row would be a little much to ask of anyone. And Beatty has an infield single. So Beatty, that's just the 3rd hit of the game. Partially because NJCU has just played ridiculous defense today. And Nolan Megna will bat here. Swung on and missed. Yeah, so every time I see Sean Gibney, I call him by a different name. Matt, Trevor, Mike, Bob. We've come up with some interesting ones. Steve is one we do often. Additionally, when we do post-game interviews, Gibney, when he's not being interviewed, is often the one in the background who's kind of leading the ridiculous antics of the baseball team, fighting with baseball bats, pretending they're swords, dumping Gatorade on somebody's head, being the victim of a WWE chair shot, as that's fouled away. He's a lot of fun. The chair shot one is still, to this day, is the best one ever because, I'm a trained broadcaster. I don't laugh, despite what's going on behind me on camera. Swung on and missed, and Gibney strikes out Megna. So I've never had laughed ever on camera in my life. Gibney is the first one to ever do that to me. As he set up a chair shot, I think it was Bill Feehan. Apparently we had a pinch hitter here, and we weren't told about it by the umpire, so it was actually Daniel Gaynor. So we made that change in the stats, and number 16, Eric Vinaco, comes to the plate. He swings at that one, 0-1. After a foul ball, 0-2, and then he swings at a pitch down and low, and he goes down on 3 pitches. So his first at-bat results in a strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts swinging by Sean Gibney. And we're going to have a pinch hitter here. It'll be number 21, Ezra Plotkin. That's a great name. Coming in for John Gabbert. Delivery by Gibney off the plate. Lions are down to their final strike, or final out, I should say, on an 0-1, a 1-0 pitch. And well, I need a cup of coffee at some point. It's been a long day. For those who aren't familiar, I started the day in Fort Myers. I announced both softball games there at 9 and 11. Once the second game ended at about 1:15, got in the car, grabbed a little lunch, and drove all the way up to Auburndale. It's about a 2-hour, 45-minute drive. And we joined this game in progress in the 3rd inning when the Gothic Knights led 2-0. And literally, moments after we signed on the air, Juan Pena hit a 3-run homer, and the Gothic Knights haven't looked back ever since. Three balls and 1 strike. Gibney. The sidearm deliver, as they called, strike 3 and 2.
Come on, easy.
After this game ends, we will sign off, and then we will come back on about 5 minutes before the next game begins at roughly 7 p.m. The 3-2, and that's fouled back towards us. Gibney, the fifth pitcher used for the Knights. Zaccario started. Carrefour in line for the win, struck out the side in his only inning of work, followed by Rivera and Bergalowski, who've all pitched well, and now Sean Gibney, a 3-2 pitch here. Ground ball. Just foul. And we'll do it again.
Hey, there he is. How are you?
3 balls and 2 strikes. Gibney deals, and that is ball 4. So Emerson stays alive. Beatty will move to second base.
Oh, he's gonna go nuts. Hey, are you announcing the game back home? Are you putting in the no, he's
And that will bring up the shortstop, number 26, Andre Padavani, freshman out of Linfield, Mass. His first at bat of the game. Twin games of this doubleheader. I got to find a beverage. I haven't had a thing to drink in a while, and I don't know how long the concession stand's going to stay open, so I want to capitalize while I can. The Gothic Knights scored in every inning except the first and the sixth, and in 4 of the innings they put up multiple runs. Swung on, foul tip. Gibney deals. That's a called strike. And once again, the Lions are down to their final strike in this opening game. NJCU's 5 pitchers have limited Emerson to just 3 hits. Strike 3 looking, and they will end with 3 hits because Sean Gibney strikes out Padavani. And the game comes to a close with 2 runners left on base. In the 7th for Emerson, no runs, 1 hit, and 2 left on base. Your final score in game number 1, New Jersey City convincingly 14 runs, 16 hits, and 1 error. Emerson a run on 3 hits and 5 errors. The Gothic Knights now 2-0 on the season, 2-0 here in Florida. And with plenty of baseball still to go, they are playing really well. The pitching has probably been the cornerstone thus far, but wow, have the bats come around. A couple notable stats in this game for the Gothic Knights. And of course, we had the 3-run homer by Juan Pena. But Nick Legato was 3 for 3 with 3 runs and a double. Pena, 2 runs, 3 RBIs on the homer. He also walked. Meanwhile, Mike Ramirez was 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and an RBI. Bill Feehan, 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and a triple, as the Gothic Knights were able to get 2 triples in this game. Dan Berardi had 1 and 2 RBIs and 5 doubles. So in all, that's 8 extra base hits out of these 16 in this game. Just a great job overall by the Gothic Knights. Final score in this one right here was 14-1. We'll note here on the broadcast that this is final. And we will be back thinking right now probably about 7:05, 7:10. The next game will start. And we'll be on the air probably about 5 minutes